That's bullshit!
MORPH Market is the website that connects reptile breeders and keepers across the world. Search through over 30,000 ball pythons to find the perfect animal for you. You can locate breeders near you and check their ratings, discover upcoming events and who will be there, and track your animals for free using the Animal Manager. MORPH Market is dedicated to advancing the reptile industry.
Hey guys, this is Chris Nettles from C-SERPENTS coming to you on the Ballsh podcast.
That's bullshit!
That's bullshit.
That's bullshit. Well, hello, everybody. How are you this evening after hearing Dave Kaufman's voice on my videos again for like the fifth time, something like that? Got lots of people in the chats, but before I go through anything, let's finish out some words from our sponsors through me. I'm going to add my little screen to the screen and tell you C-SERPENTS, reptiles, rack systems, along with hot box incubators. We run both of these things here at the Exotics by Nature and Ballsh facilities. And honestly, they work pretty darn good. The only thing I ever have to worry about with a hot box is that fan going out. And he doesn't make the fan, so he's happy to send you one, though, as a replacement. So, yeah, support my boy Chris Nettles. I'm sorry his logo's blacked out over here, but you can see it right on the side of my screen up here above my head because I have dark mode on my browser because I can't stand all these white screens. USARK, go get your ass to usark.org and read some stuff and post some things to your legislators to try to help us all out. You all know what USARK is, right? It's the governing body, or it's the lobbying body for our governing bodies to try to hopefully listen to, where we can fight the laws that are coming down the pipeline. Give USARK some of your support. Now on to my other sponsors. Obviously, MORPH Market is one of them. John Woodruff at MADRIVER Serpents and Rattery. Look, John is like a hustler, right? Now, look, he's also on Vero, by the way. If you're apparently a ball python breeder and you're not on this fucking site, like this is apparently only for ball python people. Like if you have corn snakes or blood pythons, or God forbid anything arboreal, you're not allowed to go post on Vero, apparently, because all I keep seeing is everyone's logo. So you know what I did? I went and did a bullshit Vero page. But anyway, you can search MADRIVERs on Instagram and check out all his great stuff. Reptile Collective, Steve Beamer. I'm trying to get these guys to post more on their thing. And you can't, Steve, you got to stop posting just show announcements. We want to see some cool snakes and stuff too on your page. Savage Constrictors, Becca and Ricky Savage. They are maybe posting more stuff now. Yeah, it looks like they did post this week. And, Becca's got her own little rat food she's selling now. Some of you might have come across it in your Daytona travels. Apparently, she's sold out. So I don't know if the rats liked it, but the rat breeders definitely liked it. So look them up for some interesting stuff. Shane Kelly, Small Town Exotics. He's up to 16,000 followers. He shares all of my things. I don't know why I can't get more followers from Mr. Shane Kelly, but there he is. And he is in the house in the chat, by the way. So, good to see you in the house there, Shane. A couple other sponsors were probably in the house and I completely ignored them. Well, it looks like nope, there's MADRIVER. Hey, MADRIVER, there you are. And then here's Strange. Strange is in the house. There he is, sharing everything like he is. Strange, albeit strange and quiet. He's an awesome guy and he supports the baddest new podcast in the space. Infinite Possible Pythons. Nathan, one day you are going to tell me exactly what you were thinking by calling it that, but I'm sure it makes a lot of sense. He's got way more followers than me, so honestly, what the fuck? I need to rename my podcast, maybe. Infinite Possible Pythons. Nathan's our newest sponsor. Yes, it's an alphabetical order. Yes, he got put on the end because, yes, he was late to the game. here I am, Bullshit Podcast. If you're not already following me on Instagram, please do, because I plan on posting more awesome shit that might not be ball python related either, like this badass scaleless corn snake we hatched this week with letters printed in the dorsal pattern, including down here at the curve, you can see the name Maya. Can you believe we actually hatched? Oh, look at that. There I am being a sellout. Vero. Pff, I doubt that will ever be anything. Sorry. There you go. Maya or Mayan, it even since spell out completely. So if you didn't see that picture we posted this week, you suck. And thanks for not following me and paying attention. But thank you also for being here now, right? For all of you that are here now, I'll do a shout out to everyone that's here real quick on just in the chat. Will's hella heat's been waiting here for like a year. Foster Bailey, loved your 15 minutes of lame, Foster Bailey. You and I are going to do some shit. Okay. Small Town Exotics. There you go. A sponsor. We're going to do some shit. And I'll be announcing that very soon. Byron Ratliff. Nice to see you. Mike. Will's hella heat again. Look, keep going. Strange. Hissy Fit. Heathen's Hatchery. 21st Century Reptiles. River Rats. Corbin. All of you guys. Thank you all for being here. Skull, Serpents, and Exotics. Thank you a lot for being awesome. All right. Now, instead of me posting all this crap and continuing with all this, I've been like rambling through for 7 minutes just to try to get the, what do they call it? Like housekeeping under control. I don't know, whatever. Instead, I would like to welcome this guy to the screen, Mr. Mark Mandic from Canada. How are you this evening, Mr. Mark, with your flames going in the background?
I'm
You there?
great.
Okay,
I'm
good. We
great.
got
Yeah.
you.
Can you hear me?
Wonderful. Yes, your audio is perfect. Your audio is perfect.
I was
No worries.
really looking forward to this. When you contacted me way back when and said you were going to come back.
Yeah, way back when. Yeah, it took me a
Way
minute.
back, yeah, but you know what? It takes planning, right?
Well, it takes planning.
You're not somebody that doesn't do things right.
I do things rightly wrong. Okay, so I shouldn't have spent the money I spent, just like Chris joked about on his podcast last week with me, and on the MJ podcast we joked about how much money I spent. Shouldn't have spent what I spent, but I had to come out and play with the kids, right? Like when Ballsh came out in 2015.
Yeah.
I did everything I could and spent every dollar I could from the start to make it sound amazing. And the first episode shouldn't sound all that different than the last one.
Right.
And I think that has a lot to do with its success amongst my bullshit. So yeah, but thank you for being on. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
It's been so many years since we've even talked, but you're one of those friends where I know I can have a dead silence with for a decade and come back to and meet up exactly where we left off without skipping a beat. So, you know, you have integrity, my friend. Of all of my friends, you rank in the highest of the integrity.
Well, I appreciate that.
So, you know, it is an honor to have you on episode 2. Not to say Chris doesn't have integrity. Chris has integrity. It's just, you know, you are probably one of my most valued friends in that way. And so I honestly call it an ass kiss, if you will. I mean it. I really do. So,
well,
so yeah.
You know, you say that as far as, you know, not talking to somebody and you pick up right where you left off. And we did. I mean, a lot of people don't know we spoke for a half hour, you know, before we started.
Yeah, we pre-show.
And we just went and you know, it's interesting because I remember a lot of the conversations we used to have, we'd talk on the phone. It was never a 10-minute conversation. It was,
oh no, we'd stay on the phone for over an hour before one of our women would be like, "Can you please get off the fucking phone, man?" Yeah. It was either Jayne or Celia saying, "Can you please like pay attention to other people in the room?" You know, but honestly, man, those were the days when you and I were one of the only pair of people comparing notes, bro. Like there was no public thing, right? Like let's start there. What year did you hit up Greg or whoever you hit up first for your very first ball python? What was that, like 2000, 99, 01? I can't, it's a blur.
first, let's send some good wishes to
Oh
Greg
yeah, for sure,
Graziano.
absolutely. Yeah, sorry to mention his name
Um,
and not mention that. Yeah.
boy,
Um,
wow. And
yeah.
I can see Greg sitting in that hospital bed, almost laughing and going, "Oh yeah, you know, just another day at the office." He's a
Possibly
tough
so.
nut.
Yeah. Yeah, he is. Where he is absolutely a tough nut. But you know,
Tough.
it goes back to that same thing,
Yeah.
brother, that I don't mess with animals that weigh more than me. You know what I mean? And
No. No.
they own me, and I'm not about that, right? Like I wouldn't, if I could go swimming, I would be cautious at the ocean. I would do like I tell my
Yes.
daughter, right? If you want to swim in the
Yeah.
ocean, that's fine. Don't cry to me if you get
Yeah.
bit by a shark or stung by a
Yeah.
jellyfish. You're swimming in their pool. Mind you, every hotel at the beach has a pool with chlorine
Yeah.
in it. Every one,
Yeah.
even the
Yeah.
sleeping fuck shitty
Chris.
ones, you know, do. So an
Yeah.
animal's going to do what
Or
an animal does.
saltwater.
But Greg, being as experienced as he is, just goes to show you that things like this happen. Even to the
Yeah.
most experienced of us, that accidents happen, whether or not it was a guard that was dropped or whether some other, you know, circumstance fell. It's just absolutely imperative to be so respectful around big animals like that. And I hope to God he's okay. I have not
Yeah.
heard any more about the arm and stuff situation. I also haven't been digging. So, you know, I
Yeah,
might
I
start
know. I
digging
know
here
that
soon
they're
though.
feeling a pulse in each of his fingers, so they had to basically amputate his arm and reattach it.
Right.
And I mean, it was a mess. I don't know if you saw the X-ray, but it was
I
just
did.
it was unbelievable.
I did. I did. And you know, it's crazy to think that an injury like that on a limb like that is even more threatening than like the injury that I went through because of the bacterial and the
Oh, for sure.
infection
Yeah,
and the surgery and the deep vein thrombosis and stuff. Like all of the blood and circulatory things that come from an injury like that. So yeah, let's all say our thoughts and prayers go out to Greg Graziani and his family
oh yeah,
as he fights to recover from that bite. So yeah, that was
yeah.
actually terrible. Ricky just chimed in, and you know, Ricky and Becca are very close to Greg. Um, so they said that
Oh, they did
they
have
had
to
to
remove.
remove his hand.
Oh,
So
gee.
yeah, the amputation today, I guess, happened, and we missed that post. I missed that post today.
Yeah,
I was on the road most of the day today, in and out. But yeah, thoughts and prayers with you, bro. If you
yeah.
need
So
anything,
yeah, Greg was my very first real mentor, you know, in the industry. And, you know, I've told this story many times before that uh, the reason I did so well is because Greg did so poorly in 1 year. And basically, I mean,
I don't
back
know,
then,
dude. You used to have some great looking pastels. Like your
well,
pastel
yeah,
stuff was so incredible because you selectively bred it all out. But yeah, continue.
but I said that, I mean, when I saw a pastel jungle, which was one of the hottest morphs at the time, um, I really, really liked that snake. So I contacted him and ordered a male hatchling. And he said, yeah, okay, as soon as I get, you know, some eggs and whatever, I'll let you know, and blah, blah, blah. And we became friends and we talked all the time. And that year, he didn't have one clutch of eggs, not one clutch of eggs. And the reason being is there was such a drought in Florida at the time that none of the females went, and because there was no moisture, right?
Right.
Like, as much as we can provide humidity and whatever, if they don't feel their offspring when they hatch are going to be able to come out and eat, they're not going to lay eggs. So anyways, he was forced to sell some of his older snakes. So he sold me a pastel jungle male from the very first clutch of pastels that were ever produced. And he was a proven breeder. And I ended up buying, I think, 13 adult females, normal adult females from him, and brought them up here. I bought 5 from what's his name? Oh, Jesus. Pete Call. And so I had all these normal females.
So let Pete Seago from back then hear you say, what's his name?
Yeah.
In relation to Pete Call. Don't do that. You know as well as I do. He would probably lose his shit.
65. Sometimes I have a senior moment. Anyway,
Right.
so I brought these snakes. I bred that male, and I ended up producing something like 65 pastel jungles that year.
I love that you call them that. Thank you for calling it that.
Yeah,
Thank you for calling it that. People, Pastel Jungle was the original name, just like Lesser Platinum was the original name. It's not a lesser, it's a Lesser Platinum. You can't have a Daddy Platty without Lesser Platinum in there, making it a Daddy Platty. Otherwise, it's just a modifier gene, which, by the way, is the gene that Ozzy's got in his puzzles that he's so puzzled about.
The weirdo?
Yeah, the weirdo is Daddy, probably. Okay, I bred it. I bred the original female that was the mother of his original animal to a lesser Hatari animal, and the lesser Hatari animals came out all daddy looking, all of them daddy colored, and they all were from that same line of stuff. So I'd be willing to bet if you test that line against lesser that you probably see daddy come out as the weirdo.
You produced the first puzzles, didn't you?
I didn't produce the first puzzles. I was partners with a friend that produced with him, and I jointly producing the pastel parents to the puzzles that we sold to one of our local customers who happened to have bred them.
Okay, I remember
it was a wild story, and I do have, for anybody that's really interested in the true long puzzle story, it's only 17 minutes long. It's on the Exotics by Nature YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/exoticsbynature, I think is what it is. And you can listen to the entire story from start to finish of when it hatched to whatever. I will embellished very much into the details of the events, but ultimately the story there was, I bought the original Super Pastel from Greg Graziani.
Yes.
Right? Because like here you were producing all of these insane pastels. And if you remember, you weren't making supers yet. Right. You weren't making supers since like 2002, I think, or 2003.
2002 is when I hatched, when I had my first clutches.
Yeah. So you had your first single gene pastel jungles, right?
Yes.
So the pastel jungles that you hatched, you wouldn't hatch super pastels until probably like 04, 05 then, right? Because you would have raised your own girls up, or you bought some girls from
I did buy some girls. I did buy some girls.
But I'm sure that the Florida to Canada trip
purchases were female pastel jungles. So I could breed, and get
the super. Now, had he made the super at that point that you bought pastels? He'd already made the super, right? Okay, so
yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
So in 2003, 2003, Greg hatched a bunch of super pastels, and sold out of everything like he was doing back then. You know, of course, you couldn't buy from him online at all, really. You had to go to Daytona and buy from him, right?
Yeah.
You were buying from him through the mail, but it wasn't really like a website interactivity sort of thing you were doing with Greg. You were calling him on the phone.
I think
you were calling him on the phone. You probably sent him a money order, gave him a credit card number over the phone.
I found him on King Snake. I found some pictures of pastel jungles.
Right. Because King Snake started in 1997, just as a benchmark.
I mean, I bought my first ball pythons in December of 1999. Okay. And then I ended up importing
6 months before me. Yeah.
I couldn't find any ball pythons up here other than normals. And I ended up buying 3 normals in one weekend because I bought one, then I went back on another, and went back on another.
Right.
And then I
because that
tried
was
to,
our method as well. For those listening,
yeah.
we would all go to pet stores and raid pet stores looking for adult ball pythons that would eat rats that weren't wild caught tick, tick
Well, these
holding
were
imports.
hatchlings. I couldn't even
Oh,
find
you couldn't
adults.
even, but yeah, you couldn't get adults in Canada. I'm sure not. In
No.
America we were riddled with them in America. I think me and
Yeah.
my friend amassed like 300 of them inside of a year and a half or so.
Yeah, but try and
Yeah.
find an American that would ship to you. That was the hard part.
Oh, sure. In Canada like that? Absolutely. No, because
and,
it's CITES,
you know,
CITES animal.
You phone them up and you, like I remember phoning Nerd, Kevin, and I don't even know if I spoke to Kevin. I probably didn't. And I'd like to buy some normal ball pythons. So where are you, Canada? Can you ship? It's like, no.
Nope.
And
been on CITES for a long time. CITES has had their hand in it for many, many, many decades. So, that's it. But you got to realize too. So what we did was in 2003, my friend wanted to buy a super pastel because we had all those normals. We had 300 normals. So it only made sense, right? He had cash.
Yep.
We had normals. He and I owned the ultrasound machine together. I was basically kind of coaching him through doing what he was doing too. Now he told me, he said, I want you to find a super pastel for us to work with. And I said, okay, that's fine. I know there's two people. One was the stonewashed. You remember those ugly fuckers, the stonewashed pastels from Stan Ruppel? You remember Stan Ruppel?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Say yeah. Anyway, it'll keep you young. You won't be 65 anymore if you just say yeah. Stan Ruppel had the stonewashed line, which were just ugly ass pastels that just were all modded up on the outside. And then there was Greg's line. You were in Canada, so we weren't we were talking to you all the time, but we weren't doing business with you because of the CITES hold up as well. Because I was like, why would I import pastels from Canada? And at the time, if you remember, your dollar was stronger than our dollar even, right? Was there a time when the Canadian dollar was stronger than the American dollar right around there, wasn't it?
Oh God, no, not back then.
No?
Not
I thought
then.
you guys were strong back then for some reason.
No.
Maybe it was between now and then that it happened for a short
Yeah,
period.
it did. It happened, I'm going to say, where our dollar got more valuable. Geez, I was in the horse business at that point. I'm going to say 7 years ago, 8 years ago, maybe 10 years ago.
Limey in the house. Got to say hi to Limey real quick, because Limey's another old friend that's near and dear. You know Limey, right? Yeah, you know Limey so well.
No.
Right? No, you don't know Limey? You never met Limey before? Oh, okay. British guy, bald. Yeah, he's from the UK. Okay. You know Limey. Yeah, nobody really knows Limey's name. His name's either Mike or Mark. We don't really know. We don't really talk about it. We'll leave it alone. Okay. But Limey is awesome. So thank you for coming in, Limey. Always good to see an old friend just like Mark. Not quite as old of a friend of mine as Mark is, but
cheers,
absolutely. Yeah. Cheers with the Diet Cokes. We're Diet brothers and Diet Cokes here on the Ballsh.
My wife is from England, so I guess technically she's a Limey.
Well, there you go.
I'm a Palmer.
All qualified.
I'm a Palmer. I'm originally from Australia, so a prisoner of Her Royal Majesty is Palmer.
There you go. But your wife was slumming it, right? She's been slumming it. I've been saying that forever. Anybody that ever sees Jayne of Markus Jayne ball pythons, you'll be like, dude, what is this guy doing? Trust me, you won't see Jayne on the Snakes and Fat Man podcast wearing a Snakes and Fat Man shirt, but that is a beautiful woman you married. You guys have had a fabulous marriage. You've both had your successes with your business.
20 years this month.
20 years. She ran a Pilates studio, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
A Pilates studio for very many years. And Becca, look at this. Becca's on. No wonder she likes Mark. This is the woman who, when she met her husband Ricky Savage, was after her and I talked. And the reason that I told her that even if she was interested in me, which I don't think she was, even if she was interested in me, the horse thing is a no. It's a big fucking no. Because we talked for 15 minutes about horses, Becca, before the show started, about the tournament in Vegas that Taylor Sheridan is hosting. And it's absolutely insane. So let's get back to the thoroughbreds of ball pythons, which would be us in the heyday of the beauty of all of these morphs coming in. Do you remember what it was like, dude, to open up King Snake on like 2005 and every other week there was a new morph coming out, how awesome that was and how overwhelming it was that
Well,
we
it was
had to get
overwhelming,
another
but
thing.
not like today. I mean, how do you keep track of what's going on today? It's, I mean, I
Well,
can't.
the only way to keep track of what's going on today, let's be honest, old fella, genetic testing that we never did, that Greg Graziani was a huge supporter of, right? Huge supporter of, Greg was. So yeah. Look, I'll touch back on that real quick, but the puzzle thing we got that mail from Greg in 03, and it was his holdback. It was his personal holdback. He had 2 of. He sent me pictures of, I think, both of them, and this one was the most extreme. Now he sent it to me and he said, "Listen,
You
now
know
this
who
is
got the other one?
you did,
Yes.
you did, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, in 2003 you did. So
Yeah.
I remember that, right? So we go back to that time period, and I don't think puzzle came from that snake, but what did come from that snake in puzzle is the aggression. That snake was vicious. Greg even told me that I will not take this snake back from you because it's vicious. He said, I have this snake because it's gorgeous, but I have this snake because it's vicious. And so there we go. Dude, seriously, Marshall's in the house. Marshall Van Thor up in here? Are you kidding me? Love you, Marshall. That's another oldie, right? Me and him go back to the road.
Yeah.
Just like me and you.
Yeah.
So we go back to that time, and the aggression came from that snake, but the puzzle gene didn't, because my friend bred it again and again and again back to its babies, because he kept bumblebees from it and he kept pastels from it and never produced puzzles, breeding it back to the super pastel. So the puzzle gene must have been in one of those normal girls. Which one, we have no idea, because after that year that the puzzle, that one het puzzle clutch hatched, unbeknownst to us, okay, at this point in time, a visual puzzle did not exist, period. At that point in time, I had literally had the babies from that super pastel male to a normal girl looking like Mark Mandic shelf holdbacks, looking insane. Now we know why, because the puzzle gene was in there, you know, and the other gene was in there, whatever weirdo gene that Ozzy is working on. I no longer have this. The original female normal puzzle that I hatched died in the snows of Texas 2 years ago when they had the blizzards in Dallas and everybody lost. That animal died. I have to go back to my records to find out who bought the original mom super pastel. If you're listening to this and you bought the original female super pastel puzzle or the original pastel puzzle female, one of you is holding the special gene. Not both of you. One of you. I can't remember which one looked better. I'm pretty sure it was the super. Pretty sure it was the super pastel that had it. And in turn, maybe all my bananas had it as well. I'm not really sure.
Do you think the puzzle was a spontaneous mutation?
Could have been. Yeah, sure. Could have been. I mean, like, if the female was a het, then that would have made her babies 50%ers, which would have been, you know, as well as I do, possible hets are viable as hell. Like, if I'm not doing well right now financially at all, but if I decide to get back into ball pythons, you bet your ass I'm going to buy possible hets and stuff like that, or make my own. Just buy a het male and make my own.
A lot of my my morphs.
You remember when I hit the ground with genetic stripes, bro, in 2005? You remember that mark I had, or 2006 when I had that great year? I could have traded genetic stripes for anything. I could have done like, what do you want? Stripes? I traded them for blackheads and bloods and all kind of crazy shit, because I was the only one that had an army of females sitting around that were possible het. So at that point, it's like, you know, fuck it. It has a viability. But yeah, were they spontaneous mutations? Maybe. Was every animal in that clutch a het? Was the female original a het and he just happened to buy the pair of pastels from that clutch? He bought the best looking ones that were the meanest and ate the best. Okay. A 1.1 pastel jungle and a 1.1 spider ball from a completely different breeding. And why? And I mentioned this on that 17-minute video. The man that did it wanted to hatch a bumblebee more than anything. Because you remember when bumblebees were first released, they were like 30 grand. And everybody wanted one. Everybody wanted one, except me and you went and bought spiders.
Greg Graziani produced some bumblebees. He sold two for $30,000 each.
Shit's
and
insane.
he went out and bought a horse trailer, and he almost died in the horse trailer.
I never heard that story.
Yeah, well, so he bought this beautiful horse trailer, and they went to a horse show, I guess, because they were in the rodeo and they owned a bunch of horses and whatever, and they went to this horse show, and they decided to have a nap, and they had the heater or something working, and it ran off of propane.
Oh, carbon monoxide.
Yeah. And so somebody went to wake them up, and they couldn't get him up. So they opened the door, and they had to drag him and his wife out.
Oh,
and
shit. They were that close.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. They were almost there. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Man. Greg.
Yeah. Crazy shit.
Greg. Yeah, Greg. That's crazy. That's wild. That's a wild story. I never heard that one. But so I do truly believe that it was just a crazy run of luck, bro, because the guy wanted to hatch a bumblebee. I got my bumblebee from Greg in 2003, that same year, because I traded him a pinstripe. If you remember, I traded him a pinstripe for a male bumblebee and what others? Oh, remember? A cinnamon head albino. And I ended up hatching the cinnamon head albino a week before he did. Yeah. I beat him by a week. And while we were at the show,
he created cinnamons as well, right?
He created cinnamons. Yep. And I beat him to the albino cinnamon. He traded me I traded him a male pinstripe for an albino cinnamon and a bumblebee. The value on a trade was $25K because male bumblebees were 15, and he wanted $10K for the cinnamon head albino. And I brought the cinnamon head albino with me to Daytona, even though I was keeping it, just so I could compare it to his, because when he sent me a photo of his in shed, Celia sent him a photo of a completely shed out snake. We didn't say shit. We were just going to show up in Daytona with the snake. And he actually, like 2 weeks before Daytona, he messaged Celia a photo and he said, "Look what I hatched out. Show Sean." And she's like, "Check ours out." And ours had already shed. So he was like, "Fuck, you guys beat me by 7 to 10 days.
So you had a cinnamon albino?
Cinnamon albino, but wait. I brought it to Daytona. I go to Greg's table. Greg takes his out. I have mine out. We're geeking out on them, picking out all of these, same bloodline, same everything.
Yeah.
And this regular fucking bystander walks by and says, "Oh, is that a baby albino cinnamon?" And we were like, "Yeah, aren't they cool? This is number 1 and number 2 in the world." He said, "Dude, Mark Bell's got an adult on his table over there."
Oh, geez.
Mark Bell already done. His brother had already done it, because you remember his brother was just sitting in them buildings, just geeking out on balls for years.
Yeah,
and Mark never gave him any. Mark never gave him any fucking time. Mark gave him fucking, like, just let him go in the building and do your thing, bro. Go in the building and make snakes. As long as you're making snakes, I don't care. And that dude went in there and went fucking mad on shit. And none of us knew what they had. And here we are, Mr. Cinnamon, and he had pulled an imported cinnamon and made his own line and didn't even buy, like, he wasn't like, I say black pastels are different. I don't think black pastels and cinnamons are the same. But at the time, everybody was like, "Bro, why don't you just call those cinnamons?" And Chris was like, "Cause they're not, they're mine." And Chris McQuaid, whatever Chris did was Chris's shit. And it didn't matter if Pete did anything or you did anything or I did anything. Chris's shit didn't stink on any of that. He would call it what he wanted to call it. And it was just like that with Mark Bell and Ralph. Ralph imported a platy. Mark imported a butter. Ralph imported a butter. Ralph said, "Dude, let's call them all platinums and we'll make money with it." Mark said, "No, I'm calling this a butter. And if you want to call yours a platinum, you call whatever fuck you want. Until you own this snake, you can call it whatever you want. I'm going to call it a butter."
Yeah, it's the same with toffee and candy.
Right.
Yeah.
Toffee and candy and probably Paragon. I mentioned Paragon in a post yesterday. That's why I was so great about bringing your name up. I was actually able to bring up Gail and Nigel Thorpe. Now, I didn't say Gail and Nigel. I just said the Thorpes. But you remember that fucking Paragon ball that I imagine nothing ever happened with. But it was probably just another lavender albino toffino type thing, right?
It certainly looked like a toffee.
Yeah, it did. It looked like a toffee, and they brought it in and called it Paragon. And it's like, God, man, how pretentious could you possibly be? You haven't even proven it out yet. You imported a brand new snake from Africa, and you called it a name. You gave it a name. So those were like, that was, I guess, I don't know, the Wild West of ball pythons at that point.
Oh, it was.
And I remember when I bought that clown from Brian in 04, same circumstances with you surrounding that, because when you saw the one I got and you saw how reduced patterned it was, you were all about that, right? And then very next year, I think you bought what? You bought a super pastel, probably super blade or blade clown.
No, I just bought the clown. I
bought a regular clown.
But it was a highly reduced clown, which was the blade.
Right, was a blade gene that you ultimately separated from clown while I was watching mine breed, ours breed, not just mine, but me and my friend. While I was watching our project run, you also were running yours, and we're finding similarities where you're actually working it out of clown, and I didn't at all. I'm calling it reduced, and then I see them become even more reduced and calling them super reduced, almost insinuating that there's a co-dom incomplete dominance going on, but that I hadn't actually separated it and proved it out, you know? So
it's hard to do sometimes, you know, when like I was telling you earlier about a new gene that I think I have.
What are we calling that again?
The scrambler, or the
scrambler. The scramble. So now you got to come out with a really yellow one. Maybe rename something like this this new blaze gene and call it eggs, so we can have scrambled eggs.
Well, that's exactly it. Like that, it makes so much sense when I go check out the scrambled eggs.
Right.
I mean, you know,
that's it.
And it's such a brilliant play on words, right?
Just like puzzle was, right?
Yeah. But no, I didn't come up with that name. I was comparing notes with a friend of mine that I sold a snake to a few years ago. When I sold it to him, I said, there's something going on with this snake. I'm not sure what it is, but there's definitely something going on. So we were showing all these pictures, like we were comparing pictures. We were sending them to each other. And then after we got off the phone, I was with Jayne. Is the camera frozen here for some reason?
No, you're good. I'm just sitting still.
All right. Okay.
You're not used to me not interrupting this much, right? I'm turning over a new leaf. I'm trying, right? Hey, look, I was on the phone I was on the phone with Limey the other night. I was on the phone with Limey the other night. It was like 11:30, and I used a long silence, and I'm like, and he said hello, and I was like, yeah, I'm here, and he's like, kind of had me there, bro. You kind of threw me with that silence. I was about to hang up.
No, I'm watching the screen, and we were both frozen in time. Anyway, I showed Jayne all these pictures because I love getting her opinion, and she says, "Yeah, it looks scrambled to me. That's what you should call it, the scrambler." And what it does to the pattern, and mainly to the piebald pattern, and that's what I have it in mostly. Now I have found some other snakes that don't have pied in them. They're het pied with the scrambler gene, so I'm narrowing it down, but I'm trying to get back to see what just a basic scrambler.
Now that funny gene that Will up in Canada by you produced from the puzzle, that came from the Desert Ghost stuff. That didn't come from the puzzle. And they all originally thought that came from the puzzle. But the gene that Ozzy's fucking with is definitely from the puzzle. There's no doubt. And I was messing with it at the end, in the very end, like literally my last clutches was messing with it. And yeah, separating a gene takes years and years to do. And to do that and to document it, that's why I want you to look at the comment that's on the screen right now. When I got my Odienshi blade head puzzle head clown, I was told that blade is a bloodline and not a mutation. I disagree. It's definitely a mutation. And I think as things like let me go ahead and share my screen, because I'm on your Instagram page.
Okay.
And this Blaze gene. Now listen, I'm not a Hans Winter fan. because of what he
Okay.
did with the hurricane name, because my friend Tim Bailey had used that name for years to describe a gene that he now calls typhoon. And we have no typhoons here in the southern United
Right.
States, and the snake wasn't hatched
Okay.
during a typhoon or anything like that. So
Yeah.
the fact that he stole that hurricane name really pisses me off. So the fact that he's got another gene in there, however, that you say is akin to fire, but not fire.
Well, when I
you
discuss
know,
it with people, they go, "Oh, is it another fire gene?" Because blaze, fire, of course.
you
And
say
I'm
it's
going,
another
no,
black-eyed Lucy gene.
it's not. You know, it's not at all. So now people are saying it's the same as Justin's Gene X.
Okay.
So I don't know. But
Right.
if you look at the snake in the middle, that is a super enchy pastel blaze.
Okay.
And
Yeah, it's very bright.
so, oh yeah, very bright. Very
Very
bright.
bright.
Yeah.
Especially to not look dull next to two super enchy banana animals or
Yeah.
whatever what other genes are in those other animals. So yeah, the when you have these genes coming in with these piggyback modifier genes on them,
Yeah.
let's go back to that subject of blade for just a second there. When I asked
Yeah.
Tracy if she used reduced pattern normals to make the original clowns that she made, she said, well, yeah, because I always liked banded ball pythons. So all my
Yeah.
normals were banded. They were all reduced. I like how that looks. And I'm like, okay, so in what cases, how many of these genetically reduced patterned animals would be a blade? Now we go back to this is why I want a book camera really soon on Bullshit, a camera for books to tour these books. Hold on just a second. You know the book?
Okay.
Ball Python manual, the AVS manual, right?
Yeah.
This guy, find it on eBay. I'm sure you can find it on eBay. The green parts are green screened out. I'm sorry about that. You can see the invisible spots. I would like to look at the original clown photo when it was not genetic and think, man, that sure looked bladey to me. Hard to tell from that photo. And I don't know where original photos are of the original clown, but that photo is very bladey to me. It's not super blade. It's not, whatever. So now when Tracy and I got to talking about clown and she actually listened to me, unlike, you remember my story about that, right? Whenever I was 15, I asked her about clown at the 1995 Orlando Reptile Expo, which is now a Daytona. And her answer was, kid, I got something else to do, and went and sat down and read a book. And she didn't want to talk to me about it at all. And Dave wasn't present there. And at that point, I'd kind of developed a little secret, grudge against Tracy Parker. Now, it was ironic that exactly 20 years later, in 2015, she bought a trio of the nicest super blade clowns that we'd ever produced. Like, beyond nice. Like, I had gone in with a Photoshop eraser and I erased every little bitty bit of everything. And I sent her photos of them, and I made sure the photos weren't as good as the snakes were, like I used to do a lot. And she got the snakes and she called me and she said, how did you make my clown look like this? And I was like, it started 20 years ago when a woman told a boy she didn't have time to talk to him. And I made it my life's work to come after you. No, it just worked out happens chance that way, right? It just circumstantially worked out that way. But I said, Tracy, would you do me a favor? Would you FaceTime with me and go through your collection and show me your het clowns you held back? And this was like 2000, maybe this was probably like 2014. The year before she bought the snakes is when we did the rack tour, when we were discussing blade. Because she bought you remember Tom Burke had made some really killer, like, lesser clowns, and then he made some lesser blade clowns, and he asked me in Daytona, he stopped me and he said, why do these look different than these? I don't understand. And I'm a boa guy. And Tom, dude's a brilliant guy. He's not just a boa guy. I mean, he's fucking brilliant and accomplished breeder. You need to ask me shit to be able to tell there's another gene in there, right? And Tracy takes me on this tour of her racks, Mark. And you know what? Every fucking one of them was a blade. Every fucking one of them was like no alien eyes, banded, big gaps in the pattern down the neck. I mean, she might have even had Red Gene and aka Fluff that I had, you know, Red Gene and the Blackhead and Fluff and the Mojave that I made. She might even had that in it, you know, because they looked so good. And I said, Tracy, take the male that you got from me and breed them to all of those females, dude. Don't breed them. Don't breed anything else to them. Get an ultrasound machine. When the females are 18 to 22 millimeters, breed them one time. Check for a copulation, meaning look into tails. Look, because look, guys, when you're opening your tubs, you're not seeing a breeding all the time. Okay. And I'm going to tell you, Mark, I don't know, because here's the thing that's great about me and Mr. Mark Mandic. Mr. Mark Mandic, how many years have you used an ultrasound machine?
Probably 12 years now.
Okay. How many years did you feel you absolutely needed it to be successful?
Oh, I don't
Never.
think I need it to be successful. No,
Never.
no.
Because the only thing, you still have the ball python guide on your website? Breeding?
Who?
The breeding stages. You still have that, right? Yeah.
Page.
So this is it, guys. I got it right here. I got it. Here we are. Markus Jayne, ballpython.ca, ball pythons in Canada. If you guys don't know ball python CA, you are truly living under a fucking rock. And here we are on resources. This right here. So you want to breed ball pythons. If you're listening to this show and you haven't read this and you don't have an ultrasound, go to this page right now so that you can read it whenever we're done. Because this is fucking amazing, right? He goes through courtship, locking. Look, see, good lock. What constitutes a good lock? Actual penetration, right? How many times, look at this. Sometimes you think your pair is breeding, but unless I see a lock, it doesn't count. And you know what? You're right. My employees here have been trained that whenever they go to open a tub and they see ball pythons with their tails wrapped, that they gently look for penetration before they mark that copulation is occurring. Because we do use an ultrasound to snipe ball pythons. We still do. I still use it on a few. I still use it on a few. But this guide is hands down the most comprehensive step-by-step process from courtship to production. And you're absolutely dead on with this guide. If you don't have the money for an ultrasound, read this, bookmark the fuck out of it. I have sent thousands of people to this page, Mark, as many times as this page has changed over the years. And now it's so much deeper than it ever used to be. Like, goddamn, dude, you did a lot more than you used to have on here, right? It used to be like 7 steps. Now it's, holy God, you really blew it up. So yeah.
And I need to redo it again. I'd like to do it, but I'd like to have like 1-minute videos or 30-second videos of each stage. So
don't ever say you're an old guy. Don't ever say you're an old guy. I'm an old guy trying to keep up with you. Fuck.
Yeah.
You know?
But, you know, arguably, and somebody said this the other day, they said, you know, you have probably taught more people how to breed ball pythons than anybody in this industry. I truly
agree with that. I truly fucking agree with that.
And it wasn't because I wanted, it wasn't because, oh, you know, I wanted to share the information. You know, when you have a successful industry, when you have people achieving things, you know, you start off with a plan and they do this, and they have success. Everybody wins. Everybody wins because they can't be negative, right? So
I'm going to provide a link to that page directly in the description of this video when this video is done, just so that it's absolutely sticky and stuck there, because I know that the link is going to probably be the same, but the pictures and videos may change. But for you to have taken as much time as you did to digest that and to put it forth to everyone, you know, Tim did that with the rack building plans that we put together back like 20 years ago, right? Bailey put them on his website, how to build reptile racks, how to build rat racks, step-by-step, a cut list and everything. That shit is what has made this industry fly, dude. Your write-up on that page and Tim's write-up of building those racks have probably helped more people achieve success in this business than anyone else. And I mean anyone. And like, look, Barchak might be bringing in 5-year-olds and fucking boatloads, okay? And that's fine, okay? Everybody needs another Petco out there chiming on and helping people understand that reptiles can be better pets than most people think. But whenever you get in this game You get in this game, you see guys like Marshall. This is the gold standard. You see somebody like Foster Bailey saying I reference that page to people all the time. You wouldn't believe how many people I reference to that page, Mark. So much that I wish we had a stat on how much your available page got visited versus that fucking page. I think you would be blown away by the fact that if you got $1 for every visit you've had to that particular page in the last, dude, what did you do this? Like 15 fucking 17 years ago. You did this a long time ago. Okay.
Well,
This is
I did it on my very
amazing.
first website. I did it on my very first website.
And you had a
and then
website when I had a website, you know? So yeah, 2099. Fuck, dude, this guy's on point, guys. And thank you, Will. I appreciate that. This is why I like being back to doing this, because this is an experience that I enjoy. It really is. This is definitely going to be a great episode in my heart forever, Mark. So thank you for coming back to me and doing this with me, bro. This is awesome. But yeah, dude, it's been a crazy fucking ride, and you've ridden it with Ozzy, and you've gone the gamut of making your collection sharper and better and more enhanced, and not really just working on the same single gene. So look, dude, everybody in this chat is like, I send people to that page. Look, Limey, same thing. I send people to that page. Infinite Possible Pythons. I send people there all the time. Dude, it's amazing what you did with that. Like, really. Like,
hey, Sean, for some reason,
unreal.
you sound like a Klingon talking. It's breaking up, and I can't hear anything.
I think it
really
maybe
that you're
it's
saying.
your
I don't.
connection.
I think it's my internet.
Maybe so. I'm sorry. Guys in the chat, can you tell me, are we broken up in the chat, both of us, or did you guys hear me okay? Go ahead and give me a little bit of a chime in on that.
Okay,
Mark, can you hear me better now? Okay.
Yeah.
It might have just had to catch up a little bit. To catch up a bit. I'm broadcasting in 1080p, so it's a little bit laggy on both of our ends, but sorry about that.
Okay.
We were just raving. We were just raving on your site more. It's fine. You didn't miss anything. Don't worry. We were just tugging away at old Mark with his breeding pictorial. And I mean, look, man, there's more resources here too, on resources, Genetic 101. I mean, this is basic stuff, and most people don't find just narrowed down in one spot. Okay. Please, guys, understand the difference in dominance, incomplete dominance, recessive, and phenotypes and genotypes. And he's got it all spelled out here for you. You got one-stop resource, and maybe, just maybe, you spill over to his store that has one snake in it. Are you serious? This is how sold out you are?
I don't put snakes on my website anymore. They're all on MORPH Market, and I really do need to just put a link on there saying, "Hey, go to MORPH Market." That's where they are.
Can't do that because the new Exotics by Nature's got you licked right there. But I got a link. But then again, one of my friends that's a big seller in the world, not a reptile seller, but just a big wheeler dealer mover shaker kind of guy, told me,
who's that?
What am I doing? He's not in the industry. He's my friend Galen. He told me, he's like, you know what? You need to put all your snakes on your site too. And I'm like, man, that's a lot of work, bro. That seems like a whole lot of work. But you know what? He might not be wrong there now, because MORPH Market's getting awful full. So let's find you on MORPH Market. How in the world do we search? There we go. Marcus. Gonna come right up. No, you're not. When I look up MARK, I gotta put in the US. Are you kidding me? MORPH Market, you ought to sticky this man. Markus, Jayne, ball pythons, shipping to all kind of countries because he's in Canada. He's spoiled like that. But yeah, man. So what are the plans with this new gene? What are we going to see with the scrambled eggs? What am I going to see with the scrambled stuff? What are we going to see first?
Well, it's interesting. I'll send you some pictures later on, but it's showing up in my pied stuff and in my hypopied stuff. And I've gone back and I've looked, and I think it started in 2015, but I believe, again, it probably originated from Ozzy's Orange Dream stuff. because I bought one of the first Orange Dreams from Ozzy. Then I bought a Super Orange Dream from Ozzy. It was a Super Orange Dream Fire, I believe.
I'll be
So I
honest, I
think it's-
came into that Orange Dream thing real fucking late, bro. I was one of the naysayers in the beginning. I'm so ashamed. You got me, brother. Catch up. Kind of freezing again a little bit.
happening with my internet here.
Okay. Sorry about the interruptions, guys. We had a little bit of a brief trouble on the load up as well. So you know, I'm gonna go ahead and take Mark out of chat for a minute until he comes back through. But yeah, man, I mean, look, Will brought up this Java and OD Java combos. Yeah, we can definitely discuss that. Oop, sorry. Phone alarm going off. Waiting for Mark, see if he comes back on screen. It's not back just yet. Yeah, so yeah, Canadian internet. Everybody could joke about Canadian internet. Is it really that bad, Foster and the rest of you? Is it really that bad to where we could lose the guest this way and have this trouble? Anyway, you know, I can carry it. But let's go look at this dude's store. Let's see what he's got for sale. 69 listings. Lucky number. You know, does he have Java stuff on here? Moose ran into a pole. Come on, man. You guys got to be nice. Can't be too mean behind his back and shit, right? Canadian internet. That seems to be everybody's thing. But yeah, let me go back to Will's comment on the Java ODs. Let me bring Mark back in the stream. You back, brother? Got you now. I can hear
I'm
a cricket.
back.
He's back. He's back. So yeah, sorry about that, man. What's up with Java and OD Java? I don't know anything about Java. Somebody mentioned Java. Do you have Java? And that's why he's asking. Yeah, you do. Mark.
See, I can't even hear a word you're saying. It's all broken up.
No. Oh no. This is terrible.
I wonder if why don't I try and hook up to my phone?
Phone.
Let's see here.
Works for me.
No.
You probably just disconnect and reconnect on your phone. Is your phone getting signal? He is in the middle of nowhere, huh? Oh, man. This sucks. Yeah, that's what Chris is somewhere saying, that this is an epic fucking disaster. You know what I'm saying? Chris is saying is, yeah, he's in the middle of nowhere. I could tell by how beautiful his yard and stuff is that he doesn't have a lot of smog and shit by him, with all way that yard looks so lush and beautiful. So anyway, let's bring his page back up here and let's talk about this Java thing real fast with you guys, because it's apparently here. Let's see, what's the Java gene all about? Let's look at a basic Java. Yep, here we go. Marky, you with us?
Can you hear?
I can hear you.
I'm gonna
gotcha.
I'm gonna go in the house.
That's fair enough.
I'm closer to the router.
All
and,
good. All good. The scenery out there was so beautiful. Too far from the router.
Sorry.
What, a Canadian router's not work as good as American routers either. Everybody was railing on Canada internet, bro. Everybody was going, shit, look, and he's in the dark in here. Where did you go inside? You live in a black hole? Oh, I see.
I'm in my kitchen.
Oh,
what you see above me is the alien craft. If I get zapped up all of a sudden,
yeah, you do look like you're
don't worry.
Broadcasting in the light of future abduction, possibly. But yeah, that or just a terribly placed hair light that's showing off your shiny front of your head. But yeah, so anyway, our listener Will's Hella Heat asked about the Java gene, if you could kind of maybe extrapolate on it real quick for him. We don't have to spend a lot of time there, but I saw it in your collection. Are you hearing me?
Yes, I can't understand a word you're saying.
Oh my God, this is terrible. Okay. All right. Let's see.
I apologize. I live in the country.
It's okay.
Our internet is ridiculously slow.
I actually hear you just fine. Let me try something here. Let's try this. Mark, you there? Let's see. I reduced the stream quality. See if maybe that helps him some. You there, buddy?
All right.
Can you
Yeah,
hear
I'm
me
here.
now?
Yeah, I
Can you hear
can.
me now? I reduced the stream quality so that hopefully maybe your computer can keep up. We're just not in as much sexy detail. And yeah, you're
All
right.
right.
He does kind of look like he's in death row with the dark room and the orange shirt.
Yeah.
Oh, limey.
I can
Fuck.
change my shirt.
No, you don't need to change your shirt.
The
Everybody
orange
here
is
wants you
my
to take the
thing.
shirt off. Take the shirt off. You know, they probably want that more than they want anything else. You know, there are women watching this somewhere. Maybe. Yeah, okay. So let's try to get this thing back on track. And at 1 hour, here we are. Let's get a little bit more out of you before we cave in on the bad connection. Are we better now? Are you hearing me better now?
I can't hear you. You know
Oh,
what?
shit. What's up?
I'm just going to make a suggestion.
You do that.
I could plan to do this. We could do this part 2, and I'll go somewhere where the internet is really good.
Well, we had such a
and
great
do it
start.
because,
So, you know, it's a shame that we had to come to this end. But at the same time, you got to be able to hear the host, you know? So, yeah, we might have to do that, guys.
It's really, really bad.
Unbearably bad. Let's go down even more. I don't think that's making a difference for him, though. I really don't. We just stepped down to 480p. And dude, I'm in the country, okay? I'm in a space where none of my neighbors past my building even have internet. That's how country I am. But we're having good time here. But anyway, we're definitely going to have to revisit this again when we don't have such a technical problem. I don't know.
Yeah,
if
I
this
could
has
go
gotten
into
better.
town, go to my daughter's, and they've got like super fast internet.
Okay, maybe we do
And,
that someday. Maybe we
and
do it. Maybe we
we'll
do a
do it
panel with you too. You know, because that would be nice. But you and I could go on for hours, for days, forever. So,
And what I'll do is I'll send you some pictures of the different genes that I'm working with, the new things, including Java and things like that, and then we can reference those pictures. But I apologize that the internet is. Yeah, I see.
Yeah,
The
it's just
internet is good.
crazy
in the
that it was
US.
so good, and
Okay.
then we went so bad. So, yep.
Yeah.
All right, sir.
Same.
Yeah. Well, I guess I don't know. I guess we got to say bye, right? And that sucks. If you're still having trouble.
Well, I can hear you now.
Well, I stepped
but
down the broadcast way down, so I don't know if
And
that's
now
helping.
you're gone again.
Man.
So
okay. All right. This is annoying,
apologize.
and yeah, it's okay.
But let's talk this week and reschedule another time.
We will. And you know what?
And
People don't pay to listen to this shit, so it's fine. So yeah, we will definitely reschedule you, Mark. I'll talk to you tonight. I'll call you after this. Okay.
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah, I'll give you a call on my way out. So, all right. Thank you a lot. I'm sorry this worked out this way. We'll figure it out on the next time. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Yes, indeed. Thank you all for your patience. Thank you, Mark, for being amazing for at least the first hour. We'll figure it out. All right, guys. All right. I'm going to sign this out, Mark. I'm going to give them a little bit more for their show tonight, and then that's going to probably be it. Yeah. All right. So I left him backstage. I'm not sure if he could still hear me or not. He may close it out. I'm sorry about that, guys. Obviously, we were going on a really good haul there, and then an internet problem bit us in the ass. So in this particular case, I would love to share this screen with you where I ask you to please go hit me up on one of these amazing things. Okay. Before the problem arose tonight, if you guys are seriously interested in what I have to say and saying it more, do me a favor, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell, below. I'm going to be one of these assholes on YouTube soon that starts vomiting this. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell every single time that I take a breath, because I truly need you guys to get behind this shit. I'm going to try to keep bringing you amazing guests like Mark with better internet connections. This was just one of those things that live episodes just have to succumb to sometime. There's nothing we can do about it now. It's just, it happened. So thank you guys a lot for coming in tonight. If you'd like to follow us on social media, you can hit us up on Instagram. Look at Ballshit Podcast, the way it's spelled and sound. On Facebook, just take the I out of shit and leave it the way it is. Twitter, nobody fucking uses Twitter, right? I don't use Twitter. I use Twitter for crypto. I use Twitter mostly for crypto. That's why I have a Twitter account. You may even see me post Twitter tweets about crypto stuff sometimes. But honestly, I don't post that much on Twitter, but I can say whatever I want to say on Twitter. I can't say whatever I want to say on Facebook. On YouTube, here we are live. I'm here. I'm bringing you the best I can bring you. It was awesome while it lasted. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. I'm really sorry it went this way. We will definitely get it under control for the next one. Join me next Friday as me and this fella from Hissy Fit Reptiles discuss things on a late night bullshit that has really no aim. Not that Mr. Doug Knacker from Hissy Fit Reptile isn't worth interviewing on a full show. He is worth interviewing on a full show. But we are going to be chopping up the shit next Friday night, unless Mark wants to come back and do another Friday, in which case, back by popular demand. If you guys want him back, I hope to God we can get him back, and I know we can. So I'm not really that worried about it. You share my BS everywhere, Will. I tell you do it, and you do a hell of a job of it. Vero, dude, I like Vero. It's like it's like the Instagram, Pinterest hybrid, and I don't really mind it. So I don't think it's going to be like the end all to social media for reptile people or anything. I don't think it's going to change the way we do business as ball python people or whatever. But at the same time, it's also a place that we can go and express ourselves without having a bunch of bullshit, having to worry about reading about people's feelings on what's today. It's not abortion today. It's not COVID today. It's fucking debt. It's loan debt forgiveness, right? It's student loan debt forgiveness day on social media. So it absolutely sucks to be around those social media platforms when that's going on. So a platform like Vero has its place, right? It does have its place in the world. The app is shit and it doesn't have much functionality at all so far, but whatever. All right, you're going to turn this into a Q&A? Let's see. Well, we can turn this into a short Q&A for you guys. I got to read the questions out loud, guys, because this does go to audio format after this. And if you're wondering about the previous bullshits and why they're not on audio yet, it's because I just got everything cleared up with the podcast host today in order to expand the subscription to be able to host them all, because I've just been paying the bare minimum to keep bullshit hosted. That's it. So, hey, look, Mike. Hey, Will, you got Mike Narita to come over here. So I'm fucking right. Thank you very much, Will's Hella Heat, for bringing me some Hella Heat. Thanks, Mike and Will. But yeah, let's go back to this question, Will. I mean, what's the number one puzzle combo that you never hit, you would love to see or have? I tell you what, Joel from State 48 Exotics just smashed it. Was the combo of Lesser and GHI and stuff. I believe it was Lesser and GHI, right? That he just smashed into. Let's see here. Let's go back to Insta and go to State 48. Let's expose State 48 a little bit. State 48 Exotics. Joel. Look at this gangster. GHI Mojave puzzle. I'm sorry. Look at this gangster. That thing is a fucking beast, dude. I love the Mojave and the Lesser Gene up in puzzle. I think it's insane. I think GHI up in puzzle is something that eluded me for very many years, but we might have like some weird circumstance there. But dude, this clutch, look at this shit, man. What the fuck? My internet's taking a shit too. You kidding me? What the hell's going on, man? Unreal. Anyway, we won't click on that. Joel, State 48 Exotics. Here's your fucking freebie, bro. Here's your free spot in the spotlight. I probably wouldn't mind doing a bullshit podcast with you one day, but to be straight with you, GHI is definitely a big flex and recessive. I have no doubt about that. That GHI, as much as I didn't like the way we had to go about that when it first came out, because you remember Puzzle and GHI were kind of neck and neck, and Matt Lara and I had a little politics over that, killed the GHI rumors. The GHI rumors is the problem, is that the animals that I had originally gotten have still not apparently produced puzzles. I don't know what's up with that. So it's either incredibly bad luck, like astronomically bad luck, like the worst luck that anybody's ever fucking had in the history of luck, or something's wrong and there's something there that's not genetic, or what. I really don't know. But they are the original GHIs that I bought, and they just didn't throw it out there. So this is a good question from Reptiler Ball Pythons. I'm assuming your name is Tyler. Very cute. Maybe a stupid question, but why do you think ball pythons seem to have more morphs discovered than any other species? Is it just more breeders are looking for new? Is it just the more breeders are looking for new morphs? Okay, Tyler, I'm assuming. I'll answer this as best I can, and it is in complete and total just theory. Hypothesis, not predicated on any real evidence. Dude, ball python genes were stirred up in the wild like a motherfucking blender. Like if you caught a female ball python, we watched that Dave Kaufman's videos, right? Like, let's go. I don't have Dave Kaufman's video up, but here, we'll go to a book. We'll go to a book that I've mentioned several times now. The book that's not going to show up on screen very well because of the green screen, Stefan Brohammer's Ball Pythons Habitat Care and Breeding from the year 2000. My nose is getting stuffed up. Can you hear it? I'm so nasally sounding now. Where we look at like Africa and how they used to keep the snakes in boxes and how they used to collect the snakes. Look at the range of the ball python. Look at the range of the ball python across Africa, according to Stefan. That checkered area goes all the way over to Angolans. So they have a huge area, but the bulk of the mutations came out of just those three countries. Now, I will say this. They set up the females and they keep them like that. They kept them like that, right? In tubs. Okay. They set the females up in those tubs, and then they hatch the eggs in these boxes, in like these drawers and shit. I'm trying to find a picture of them, right? Obviously, I wasn't prepared for that question. Well, what does this have to do with that question? It has to do with the question of what would we do if we caught a species of snake every year and we harvested its babies every year, okay? We harvested its babies every year, and we let the females go in a different location. Now, I've always thought that is why the ball python mutated as much as it did, because of human interaction and moving animals around. Now, what sense does that make about codoms? It doesn't make any sense at all. That's why I say it's not predicated on any real evidence. I just wish that everybody would just go outside and catch corn snakes and king snakes and ship them all over the place to people to let go in different spots where those species live, just so we can get hella morphs in the marketplace, dude. And so I think Limey's probably on to something. Think of them like chickens, pigeons. They have bendable genetics that are able to express. Meaning, I guess that the species just mutates a fucking lot in the wild or in natural habitat. But remember, Puzzle was not wild caught. Most all major different looking ball python genes were wild caught. They were not captive bred. They were not, hatched in America spontaneously like the Puzzle. That's what makes the Puzzle a unique morph, is that it completely seemed to mutate in captivity. Like Mark touched on, did we see a spontaneous mutation there? Maybe. Maybe we did. Maybe we didn't. Maybe Jedi mind trick, right? Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. You did see a difference there. No, and I also agree with Limey here. Limey said any old school collection will have a new gene pop up. Now, granted, Limey, there was a time when I bred ball pythons that I wish that this was true, and it never happened to me. It never fucking happened to me. Again, puzzle happened to another guy with animals he bought from me. And by way of when he was unable to keep those animals, he came to me and offered me the animals for sale before anyone else. That's why I had the animals. I mean, shit, if the animals would have went on King Snake, I'm sure nobody would have gave him what he wanted for him at the time but me, because I knew what the animals were worth. But yeah, like Fluff came up in this collection. That's like Blackhead's red gene and Blackhead, same fucking thing, same modifier gene, right? So, and that's why when Mark posted the other day about this that Blaze gene, I said maybe it's finally time for people to look at things like Blade for what it is, not for making a clown reduced. Because let's be honest, the more genes you put in a clown, do you really want the reduction? No, you probably don't want the reduction. You probably want the pattern. And that's why in the last few years that I've been out of the game, mostly, I've been contacted by people with wanting clowns that don't have Blade. Like, hey, do you have any clowns that don't have Blade that are busy, pattern, and regular? And you're like, fuck. Yeah. Like, this is interesting. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you got a point. If I put 5 genes in a clown, would I really want it to be super fucking Blade? Probably not, you know? So yeah, you Foster's got his, I like reading about genetic drift to try and understand a portion of how it became so diverse. Interesting subject for sure. Will we ever know for sure? Doug Knacker says, do you ever think we'll see the colors green or blue in ball pythons, 2 base colors that seem to not exist in them yet? No, I don't think you'll see that. I don't think you'll see that at all, because it's an extremely rare color range of a lot of snakes. If you think about it, it's more purposeful in an arboreal world than anything. So you have, yeah, I have Blade and some Blackhead stuff makes IDing them tough. I've no doubt that Blade could throw you off on some stuff if it's making things very, very reduced, you know. But yeah, I don't, Doug, I'm going to bring that one back up. I don't think we're going to see green or blue in a ball python anytime soon, unless somebody's soaking it in fucking Kool-Aid, Powerade, powdered drink mix of some sort. I really don't think we're going to see anything like that, popping up here soon. So yeah, back to it. Mark and I can go on for days together. You guys did miss out tonight, and I'm very upset that it didn't go on for another hour or so. But we're gonna get a lot more time in with that, man. Don't you get me wrong. Join me next week with Doug Knacker of Hissy Fit, and also look out on Tuesday next week if I can get it all together by then. I'm trying to find the right subject to start it on. Get with me Tuesday. Keep an eye out for an announcement for a Bullshit episode airing on Tuesday called Off Topic Tuesday, where we touch on other species and other things, right? We might interview a cage maker. We might interview other supply vendors like Robin from Redline Science or somebody like that. And we're going to do that on an Off Topic Tuesday. And I'm going to keep the Fridays to like hardcore bullshit or Friday after dark type stuff. So I hope you guys like what we're doing so far. It's a lot of fun. It's a whole lot of fun. Marshall, thank you for saying that so I can plug these signs that I'm so ready to start selling, but not ready to start selling yet. I'm struggling with shipping, guys. I'm still like going and test shipping a few things, packing them differently. The US ARC signs that we are laser cutting they look just like this, or they look wood grain like Chris Eaton's. If you saw on Snake and the Fat Man displayed one, this guy right here, this really sexy wood grain stained version right here. Now, this is the negatives of Chris's. So this is the parts that Chris didn't use. And I love that I can make 2 signs out of one when it comes to the negatives. They won't be as popular as the big, bold US ARC all outlined in color. The biggest problem is right now is painting them, guys. It has been raining here every single day for like a week and a half, and I cannot go paint in that weather. So on these signs, the backs have the little hangy hole thing built into them. I came up with a clever little idea of building a screw hanger into the back of them. So all you got to do is put 2 screws 18 3/4 inches apart on the wall and hang this bitch right on it. And all of the instructions for hanging will be engraved on the back of the sign. Like, you won't even need to know how to hang it. You can just look on the back of the sign. Dude, this is technically my right hand. This is my left hand on this screen. So if you wanted the one that was painted, that was white background or wood grain, all you have to tell me is you want wood or white. Or, unlike very many people that have asked, herpshow.net, Sean Gray, I'll plug him because he was a bullshit sponsor years ago. Sean Gray had asked me to make an unfinished one so that I can actually, you know, he can finish it out in herps, green and purple, right? And I think that's great. No, we are not using acrylic sheets. Acrylic sheets would add way too much cost to this process. Will, the idea behind this process is for me to make a sign as cheap as fucking possible to make as much money for US Arc as we can, because I'm not going to let you guys display this. We support US Arc unless you really support them. And at a $50 to $60 per sign donation is what I'm trying to get to. I'm trying, like, would you pay $100 for that sign? Like, tell me what you would pay. Shipped price, $80, $100. Like, what? Knowing that the profit is not staying in my pocket, knowing that the profit that is staying in my pocket is paying for machine wear and a little bit of machine time, and it's not really making me a lot of profit. Okay. This is very important for you to understand this. Okay. Is that this is a thing that I'm doing because I don't breed snakes like crazy anymore. I can't just fucking send US Arc a $4,000 puzzle to auction off in Tinley. Okay. So if you guys are cool with a solid bill, I think $100 is fair. I think $100 is really fair. It allows me a lot of, you know, of leeway on it, because the wood grain ones are a lot more expensive. The wood grain ones are twice the cost. Okay. Twice the cost. Limey, like, I might be doing that on like custom paint or something like that, dude. I might be offering like $150 job, you know, where I'm willing to go that extra mile on it. I'm also going to make one. If you guys look at this one more time, I'm also going to make one that has a black background here and white proud support. And I gotta think that that one will be more popular than this one. I think this is just too much white. So I think we're good at 100. I appreciate the vote of confidence there. It is a badass looking sign when it goes together. They all are. They all are. And those of you out there that don't have like crazy gradients in your sign, in your logo, like if you have like a logo like Ballsh or even like Mark Mandic, right? I mean, let's go back and look at that logo that needs to be burned into our brains, right? After this podcast. But even a logo like Mark's, I think you really have the ability for us to do some cool work with your shit, with your logo. Oh well, I'm not going to pull it back up. We saw it plenty. Everybody knows what Marcus Jayne's logo looks like, don't they? Everybody knows that. Yeah, show table. I'm going to make one with a stand for show tables, a smaller one. You know, I thought about 3D printing one and lit up, you know, like the shit word. That's going to be like a bigger version of this badass motherfucker's going on that wall behind me. It's going to be so fucking cool. I've already printed it, and I've already put all the LEDs in it too. Like, the LEDs are all ready to rock and roll. I just got to wire them all. I got to solder all the connections together within the words and then mount it up on the wall, you know. But I thought about making a support US Arc thing that was like this, that was 3D printed, because then you can just plug it in and it'll light up, you know. Like, that seemed like that'd be fucking cool. I don't know what you guys think. But anyway, you know, I can do a lot of cool stuff on my machines. I'm using this great man's name as a shameless plug, and we need to not do that on this show. So guys, thank you very much. I think the questions kind of just went to the signs, and that's probably where we stopped. This is a great time for me to shut the fuck up and close this podcast down and go home to my little girl, who's been doing great in 4th grade. I'm so proud of Bo for doing so well in 4th grade. They get graded weekly for conduct. How about that shit? Like, every week, her conduct grade has to be signed by a parent. That's pretty fucking cool. Like, I don't remember that
I don't remember us ever being graded for conduct weekly. I'm sure kids don't like it, but parents probably fucking love it. I know I love it. I know I love that I can jump online anytime and see your fucking grades and shit. I love all that, you know. So to all you parents out there who kids just started school, may the force be with you. And that'll be the last thing that I gotta say tonight. Thank you guys a lot for coming by. I don't think there's much else that I can close with other than you know, you know what I could do? Fuck, man. You know, it just kind of messed me up. And he's gonna be like, why didn't you mention what I told you to mention? Or what I asked you to mention. Morph Market asked me to mention this this rescue thing, right? That they've updated their rescue page. And I'll do that real quick just to keep you guys on the hook for just another minute, even though this is about as unprofessional as it gets right here. You know, let's see. Man, he just sent another thing, another video. Let's see. Yeah, the ball python advertisements, NFS collections and stuff. So he's like, I'm gonna start doing the news like Chris Eaton does. What do you think? You guys think I should start doing the Morph Market news or what? You down for that? You good? Yeah, it's a fucking good show, Sean, but fuck that. It wasn't a good show. We didn't wear Mark out. Mark had plenty of energy. Mark hopefully wearing himself out at home on a Friday night doing other things. But yeah, we didn't get to wear him down with the ball shit grilling. So yeah, until next time, I'm getting the fuck. Y'all have a good night. All right. Goodbye.
Thank you.